What's up, Casey Roach? I just hit the record button.
Hey,
This
Corey.
is official. Casey and Corey's pole vault coaching class begins now. Class is in session.
Class in section, Professor Disick.
Okay, well, I mean, maybe in the future we prepare,
Well,
but
I
I
think,
propose that we just try winging it and see how it goes.
I think as the first class, we need to talk about ourselves
We do?
and who are we? Who are we,
Okay, I'll stop
Mister
sharing.
Mister Mister Corey Disick? Who are you?
Who the heck am I to be even
Yeah.
talking about pole vaulting? Well, the biggest thing to know about me is that when I was 17 years old, I met Casey Roach at a pole vault competition, and my entire life changed. Everything changed from that moment onward. And so that's why I think it's important that we record said Casey Roach sharing insights into the beautiful art of the pole vault and bring it to the world.
We'll say, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, sorry. Anyways, so I'll say that you're being a little too modest, Mr. Corey. I've read the book called The Range, and Range is the principle of that trying a sampling period of trying a bunch of sports, and then focusing in on one that you that you have a talent for. And you were a decathlete, so you had a sampling period of every event, and you also did a bunch of other sports growing up, and you came upon pole vaulting. So you have a much more wide variety of relation and knowledge that comes to pole vaulting. I,
Right.
however, am the Tiger Woods approach, and I started pole vaulting when I was in fifth grade. And my dad was a coach, and I grew up pole vaulting all the way through college at Stanford. And
Yeah.
so,
And that's basically where I mean, we met before that, but that's where we did a lot of hanging out together, pole vaulting.
that's,
And the decathlon is my best excuse for why you ended up pole vaulting higher than me. So we're going to stick with that. But
but
because
not,
we both love the pole vault so much, here we are hanging out,
yep.
drinking protein shakes, and talking about the pole vault. So, Casey, I'm going to share with you my screen. Okay.
Okay.
And what people want to know is what you think about this video. Okay. So,
Okay.
so this person asked a question. I'm trying to invert, been struggling to progress. Okay.
Okay.
You haven't seen this video yet, I
I
don't
have
think.
not.
There we go. All right. I'm going to slow it down, play
Mhm.
one more time for you, Casey, and then we're going to break this thing down. Okay. So imagine you were talking to this dude. What would you say?
Okay. Hmm, I would say first, I would go down a pole. Like if you're struggling to get in on any depth into the pit, you need a tap. I would say go on a lighter pole. You know,
Hmm.
it's you don't need to get on the biggest stick get to jump high. It's better to be work on things and practice technically. And so
Safety
that
first.
and actually I've experienced too is that like having a tap is as nice as that is you pull out differently when you know someone's going to give you a big old pat in the back when you take off the ground. So
Right.
um, that affects things too. So I also think getting getting in getting consistent off the ground first, because if you're not getting in the right positions before you take off the ground, as you're taking off the ground, you're not going to invert well.
Right. Well,
What do you see?
well, I was okay. Let me go back and take a look at this plant. So agreed on the tap. That makes sense. I wasn't thinking that though. You know what strikes me is this kid's asking about inverting. And you see how like his hips just get swooped under and how like
Mm,
weak his left arm is? You know, what immediately came to my mind, and you course correct me if I'm going the wrong direction here, but if he had like a stronger plant, and his like imagine if I drew an arrow here And at this stage, his left leg was back and his plant was
Yep.
stronger, there'd be this space created for this more elasticity to come back together with the swing.
Mhm.
Whereas like because of this position,
Yeah.
I mean, you'd have to be so strong in the core to be able to lift your hips from this position.
Mhm.
Um, so that's what strikes me. This kid needs to work on his plant.
Yeah. Could you go a little further in the video? Just toggle
Yeah.
through it a little further. Yeah, like it looks like he doesn't even really swing it. He's kind of being flung up. Like it's not really a swing.
Yeah, and look at how low the pull bend is.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I think getting a good takeoff off the ground really helps because by the time the pole starts recoiling, he's just being flung forward, and it's just that's why he's kind of sitting over the bar,
Right.
which
So you think if he went down a pole and
well, I think
focused on a bigger plant, it would set
yeah,
him up for a better swing?
yeah, I would say so. Also, I just because right now he's not, the pole is going to low bend, and already it's recoiling by the time he is even trying to invert. So
Right. Yeah, you can't catch up to it, and it all starts.
yeah, I mean yeah,
his pull drop is
yeah, it's a
a
little
different
early
story, but
it's a little
I think that's what strikes me. Bigger plant. Look at that. It's just all ready to collapse underneath the pole here. It's just like a sucking down to the bottom. There we go. Well, that's all we have for you today, Casey and Corey's podcast. Before we leave you, though, Casey, question of the day.
Yep.
What is one tip that you have with the ladies for anybody listening?
Anybody listening is don't take advice from Corey Disick. I would just be nice, and just be nice, and the higher you get, the more girls' heads will turn.
There we go. Jump high in the pole vault, and that fixes everything.
That's not what I said.
What did you say?
It gets attention. Then once you have their attention, that's when you have to sweep them off their feet with a charming personality.
Oh, you're just saying jumping high gets you in the door, but it doesn't.
Yeah,
it doesn't fix everything.
No.
All right. Well, if you enjoyed this video, smash the like button, hit subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.